The ABC reported today that Australian Defence Force cadets claim they were given a directive that they were not to wear their uniforms for what's known as Wear It Purple Day. That's a day that's organised for people who wish to show their support for young people who are gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgender or other minority sexualities and gender identities. They were instead told that they should wear purple civilian clothing. Students at ADF complained that they felt pressured to participate because they received explicit dress instructions from the executive officer of the academy. Further, the executive officer purportedly wrote that, quote, "Wearing uniform will be considered a protest against Wear It Purple Day, which does not align with the ADF value of respect," close quote. It gets worse. The executive officer added, quote, "Additionally, anyone in uniform will be required to explain why they have chosen to disobey a direct command from the commanding officer." Close quote. Fundamentally, though, questions of sexuality and gender aren't relevant to the work of the Australian Defence Force. No one should be forced to either celebrate or condemn it because this stuff simply isn't relevant to the work they do. And as for the ADF's values, which are, for the record, quote, "service, courage, respect, integrity and excellence," close quote, well, forcing one group of people to affirm the sexuality and gender of another isn't respect, it's coercion. And coercion is wrong. The ADF, quite rightly, draws from people who come from a whole range of backgrounds, a whole lot of different belief systems, faiths and cultures. Unless a cause that's being dealt with is absolutely core to the work of the ADF or a matter that isn't the subject of political or conscientious contest, it just doesn't belong in the ADF. Because to do so would threaten the ability of our organisation, one as important as this, to attract people from all walks of life and maintain the support of all parts of the Australian community. It's the reason why, under the coalition, there was a blanket rule that political causes like this just weren't a matter for the ADF. It was also one of the very first changes that Labor's Defence Minister Richard Marles made upon assuming office. By all means, people should be free to live their lives as they wish, so long as they aren't harming others. But that means people should be free from any kind of discrimination on the basis of their sexuality or anything else. But as well, they should be free from being forced to celebrate the sexuality and gender of others. There's a world of difference between acceptance and affirmation. Or to put it another way, between eliminating discrimination and forcing the celebration of matters that are utterly irrelevant to the job. There really is something strange about the fact that we've never had clearer boundaries about the inappropriateness of sexual conduct and talk in the workplace than we do right now. But at the same time, we're demanding that employees affirm the sexual identities and behaviours of others. How on earth is it inappropriate in one case and not the other? The policy position here should be what common sense demands. And that's that none of this belongs in the ADF because it simply isn't relevant to the job. Let's have our ADF focused on building the capacity that they have to defend this nation rather than congratulating each other on what they may or may not do in the privacy of their bedrooms.